Welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. Tonight on the bar, we've got the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old single malt Irish whiskey. Stay tuned. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and we are still very much in Irish Whiskey Month, and we've got ourselves a little single malt here on the bar with the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old single malt Irish whiskey. But before I get into the background of Knappogue Castle and the overview of this expression from them, if you have yourself some Knappogue Castle, maybe you get yourself something Irish, something single malt preferably, and you want to pour yourself a dram and drink along with me, please do so. I encourage it. It makes life a heck of a lot better for you guys on the other end, and I enjoy you guys drinking along with me, especially during Irish Whiskey Month. So what can I tell you guys about the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old single malt Irish whiskey? Well, this is the flagship expression from Knappogue Castle, which is a brand with a rich history rooted in Ireland's whiskey-making traditions. And the brand was established by Mark Edwin Andrews in 1960 when he acquired and restored Knappogue Castle in County Clare, Ireland. Andrews sourced and aged his fine single malts from various Irish distilleries, bottling them under the Knappogue Castle label, helping him to preserve Ireland's whiskey heritage during times of decline in the industry. And their 12-year-old expression is a triple distilled single malt whiskey crafted from 100% malted barley. It's aged exclusively in ex-bourbon casks, giving it that traditional Irish flavor profile. And as part of Knappogue Castle's range, the 12-year-old exemplifies the brand's commitment to producing high-quality Irish single malts for both the new and seasoned whiskey enthusiasts. And we'll put that to the test tonight, guys, when we try out this Knappogue Castle 12-year-old. But let's get into the overview and the specs of the bottle of this expression just to see what we're dealing with here. So, as it states prominently on the bottle, it's a Knappogue Castle 12-year-old, so we've got a 12-year-old age stamp on here. Triple distilled, prominently displayed on the label, and it's at 43%. That's pretty good. I think over in Europe you can only get this at 40%. We're lucky enough here in Canada and probably the US to see it at the 43% mark. Being said that it's at that 43% mark, and I didn't see anything else online to tell me different, I am going to assume that it's chill filtered, and I'm going to assume that there is color added there, and as specified on the packaging and probably on their website and their literature, that it is matured in ex-bourbon barrels. We don't know the quality of bourbon barrels, if they're first fill, second fill, how tired they are, whatnot, but they are matured exclusively in ex-bourbon barrels. So let's get into the presentation of the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old here and just take a look at the packaging, the bottle, and whatnot here. So not a whole lot going on from the whole perspective of information here. I really like the bottling, the way the bottle they chose here. You've got the castle prominently displayed here, both on the packaging and on the bottle. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of information here, guys. It tells you a little bit about the castle, tells you a little bit about the brand, but nothing really on the color, nothing about the chill filtration piece. Again, assuming that it does have color added and there is chill filtration here. It doesn't really give you anything about the tasting notes other than just some very, very simple things. Wish they'd have a little bit more story about the founder and whatnot, and kind of where they source the whiskeys from and all that. But you know what? Pretty nice to look at. It's a pretty stylized bottle here and pretty sleek. So, I give it a pass for that. I just wish they had more information on there for us whiskey geeks. But you know what? Let's get into the pour. Nice little pop on there. I'll pour myself a dram. Again, probably dealing with some color added here, but let's take a look and see what we're dealing with here from the color perspective, and going nice and close as I let this aerate here and get ready for the rest of the review. So going close and take a look here. Again, ex-bourbon barrels used exclusively in the maturation process, so it's given that rich golden straw color. I think in the past I've heard or read, I should say, that the color profile, when it was naturally presented, the profile was a lot lighter, very much more hay-like as opposed to a richer straw like it is here, that golden color. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with there. Not to be crass about it, it looks like bourbon matured whiskey. I'm gonna go with that. All right, guys. Well, I generally let the age stamps age out a little bit more. Through my review of this, I've drank quite a bit of it, and I really don't find the air really plays too much of a role in kind of bringing it out or opening it up or whatnot. So we'll just get into the nose and see what we can get out of the nose on the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old single malt Irish whiskey. On the nose, guys, let's go into it. I think if someone gave me this in a blind, I would definitely be able to tell you that it's Irish. Probably wouldn't be able to identify where it came from, but I definitely can tell you that it's Irish. A very classic Irish profile. I'm getting those caramel notes, the vanillas, lots and lots and lots of honey. Baked apples, like like for like an apple crumble or like an apple pie. Some buttercream, like a buttercream icing. Some pear on there too. In the back end, I'm getting a little bit of peach, and then a tiny little bit of shortbread cookie, kind of like a dry cookie, like a Christmas shortbread cookie. Very nice nose, very traditionally, very traditional Irish nose, I would say, from the profile. They that's what they're going for, and I think they hit all the bases there. 43%. It's nothing, nothing abrasive, nothing burning, just very, very sweet, very honey forward, with that little bit of fruit in the middle and going to the back there for sure. All right, nice nose. Let's go on to the taste and see what we can get out of the palate on the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old single malt Irish whiskey. So cheers to your health, and let's dive into it, guys. So first off, I'm going to say at 43%, it's got a good mouthfeel to it. Not overly oily or nothing like that, but it does hang on. It's got a little bit of a little bit to it. It sticks to your mouth. It's got a lot of more viscosity than a lot of the Irish whiskeys I've tried here. So it gets a nice pass for me on that. As far as the palate is concerned, matches the nose, but the palate is prominently more apples and honey. Really, really focusing on that apples and honey. There is some caramel in there too, kind of blending in like a caramel honey kind of thing going on there with that apple. Gonna go for one more sip. Yeah, apples, caramel, honey, pears are there. I get a little bit of banana. Good helping of vanilla and banana. A little bit of orange kind of on the tail, and then this kind of bitter oak. It's just like a little bit on the tail, and it is pretty bitter. Usually that would lead me to believe that the bourbon barrels that they're using, or the barrels they're using in the maturation process, are a little tired. You're getting more tannin than you are you're getting more of that tannin imparted versus the flavor. But it's not enough to turn me off. It's just there. Sometimes you'll get it more of like a cinnamon or a clove spice. This is just a kind of a bitter oak piece to it. But it's a very traditional Irish profile, single malt Irish whiskey. Very nice that it's got the age stamp on it there too. And yeah, very, very easy sipping, even at that 43%. But let's get into the finish and see if we can find anything else on the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old single malt Irish whiskey on the finish. So I'm gonna go in for one more sip, guys, because it's not that bad. If you haven't already ID'd that. So guys, solid medium finish on this. Very nice, very fruity, very fresh, very sweet. I think those are probably the three ways you can express and kind of impart that you're tasting Irish whiskey here, is just to hit those notes there, fruity, fresh, and sweet, and I got that. It is a medium finish though, not very fleeting. Again, good mouthfeel. And we'll get into the value piece here, but I feel it hits above its weight class a little bit. It's a very flavorful whiskey, and it doesn't have a whole lot going on for it. But from other Irish expressions that I've had, it's a step up. It's a step above for sure. And I think that's worth it. But let's get into the value proposition here, and then I'll wrap things up and kind of give you my recommendation for the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old single malt Irish whiskey. So this is kind of where I think this one shines. I was able to pick this up. It was kind of in the LCBO. It was in the cabinet. I really think it was probably just there because it's March, but it was $57. At $57 for a 12-year-old Irish single malt, I think you're getting good value in that. I know it is chill filtered and whatnot. You get a little bit higher hitter or heavier hitter there with that 43%. And again, it's got that single malt characteristic in the age stamp to it to kind of back it up, which is nice. I wish they put this at 46%. I think it would really shine more at 46%. I get that it's the entry level, and I've seen on their website, if you look at their other age stamps, you look at their other kind of casking and different profiles they're going for there, some of them do step up and hit above the 43% range there. But I think it's a great whiskey to look at from the perspective of, again, it's a 12-year-old age stamp, it's a single malt whiskey, and it's only $57. And this time of year on Irish whiskey, if you don't want to break the bank, you don't want to go get yourself a red breast or whatnot, you're looking for something as a red breast alternative, not nearly as good as red breast, but for half the price of it, I think it's worth checking out if you can find it. I think there's a couple of bottles at my LCBO and that I'd never seen it in the wild. So at $57 and the nice presentation and a couple of reviews I had read online about it, I thought, you know what, hey, I gotta check this out. So yeah, I'm going to go tell you to go try this out if you're looking for a single malt Irish whiskey this time of year. I think it's a great one for that. I think it'd make a pretty good cocktail too. And again, it's above its weight class from the ABV standpoint. I think that can't go overlooked right now because it's tougher and tougher and tougher, especially in Ontario here, for us to find more craft, more integrity Irish whiskeys. But I think this is pretty good. It's a great example of an Irish whiskey, standard Irish whiskey profile, and I like it for that. So yeah, I'll leave you with that, guys. That's my review of the Knappogue Castle 12-year-old single malt Irish whiskey. And if you like what we're doing here at Seaway Whiskey Wire, guys, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below. And hey, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Seaway Whiskey Wire for more content, more cocktail slams, and more stuff for Irish Whiskey Month. And if you're still hanging around this long into the video, guys, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Love coming down to the basement, pouring some great Irish single malt, and letting you guys know my thoughts and opinions on it. If for no other reason than I just have a little bit of time on my hands. So anyways, we'll continue on the Irish Whiskey Month, guys. St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner. I've got a couple more videos to film here, so I'll leave you with that and keep on working here. So take care, all the best, and I'll see you around, guys. Happy Irish Whiskey Month.